Most Latin American countries have closed their borders to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. But deportation flights from the US continue to arrive in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. Experts worry the flights could export the virus to these poor and ill-prepared Central American countries.
Think about it. In the detention centers, before they deport people, people are crowded together, often in big rooms with bunk beds. After that, they're put on aircraft, which are very enclosed spaces with recirculated air. And then they drop them in countries with some of the weakest public health systems in the hemisphere. This is super dangerous.
Guatemala says two returned citizens have tested positive after the U.S. deported them. Guatemalan officials suspect the deportees contracted the virus while in ICE custody. By Monday, the three Northern Triangle countries had over 400 confirmed cases combined.
If one flight has 2 cases to a country, that increases the overall percentage in that country by quite a bit. Very few ventilators or ICU beds. So even just a small increase in cases could be catastrophic.
ICE told Newsy that prior to boarding, the Guatemalan men who later tested positive neither had a temperature nor presented symptoms. The agency says it screens all detainees for fever and other symptoms before removal flights. Those with symptoms are denied boarding. But advocates say that's not enough.
They are not testing people. They are just taking their temperature. If that were enough, you could just take your temperature right now and before you went to a bar or restaurant and you'd be fine. It's not enough.
The Guatemalan government has asked the Trump administration to halt deportation flights during the crisis. But for now, the U.S. continues to fly deportees back to Central America. Separately, ICE has been bringing home hundreds of stranded Americans on the return legs of removal flights.
In the middle of the flight, they told us that the plane was used to take deportees to El Salvador.
We've just been getting more and more nervous given she has type 2 diabetes and history of heart issues, among other things.
Sophia Chale is grateful to the U.S. government for bringing her mother home. But she says the fact that the U.S. is using deportation flights to bring citizens home is concerning. ICE told Newsy that its employees remove passenger trash prior to boarding stranded citizens.
And then what was the process of actually cleaning the plane? Were they tested? I guess now that you think about it, because, the medical care received, you see the reports from the immigrants, immigrant detention camps,
Terrible.
horrible.
But anyway, I'm glad that I'm here with my kids.
And her grandkids.
Yes.
Ben Chamisso, Newsy, Chicago.